Black Egypt on top. All them little clowns and frauds, they won't stop. So I speak like I'm Sheik and the Diop. When they tell us stop saying it's black, we not. I refuted your Egyptologist, she hot. I just hit her with some primary she ain't got. She a PhD, yeah, we know now. I made the PhD, take the video down. Met Padisu Neil. If you apply yourself, they can't see you. Used to be my main man till you got beat up. Having fights over Egypt. Fights over Egypt. Huh? Fights over Egypt. Azar black, I said black. Horus black, don't say that to me. Azar black, I said black. Horus black, fights over Egypt. Black gods. Magi archers, we killed the black silk. It was all black when the pyramid built. Wanna learn like us, ain't a course for that. Can it mean black silk? It ain't a source for that. It ain't a source for that. Now they made that up. Nubian wig had a white braid that up. Garfield wanna know why I'm ahead of your player. When I was studying, you was selling credit repair. And when you wrote your little book, why wasn't the editor there? When I see you, I'ma say, Nick, come here. Stumbles and fumbles when bumping his guns, but he don't wanna rumble. The nigga got humbled and then he said, yeah. You can say that. You can say that. The experts say you can say that. You could call them black people, but I'm saying though, why would they say that? We magi archers too, and I be hella patient trying to walk with you. But now we just debating when I talk to you. I think cats just hating cause I brought the truth. Yep, you brought the truth. Kemet don't mean no black land, it's more like black city, cause of the black people in it. I hit up Egyptologists and make them admit it. And I keep receipts. You like Zahi Hawass, you need your ass beat. You a dog when the charlatan doing all you can to stop what's black and marvelous. Alright. Let me go and play one more banger, we get right into it. Peace, like the video, do what you can to help it get out before we get popping. Let me see. Go on and play that. Yeah, and I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Alright, it's getting kinda dirty in these YouTube streets. The Amin Ra squad, God thinking you dudes weak. Islam or Judaism, where you learn what you dudes teach. The West African rapper slapping with that voodoo speech. All that sub-Saharan terror about a kufu feet. I'm like Norma, the agricultural farmer that grew you wheat for the storehouses. We feed the Hebrews and lead the people when we defeat the feeble. They wanna know polite rip me off, but Sonetta paid me my money though, that mean he 100. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Nubian with the Jews, I rock the pinky. I think Jesus got to save me, a doctor save me, a Dr. Inky. I cop the copper jewels on blue and red. I'm not the chakra doctor y'all claim woke, but you in bed, you won't pop a chopper, you Grandmaster J. You just talking. Punks turn the other cheek and you will walk away. Y'all gon' have to pardon my Moorish. That's Taharka Bay. I'm on that black African power on my darkest day. And that's my brother Ankh stomping them other punks. We brought them gators to Italy, you loving the Moors. And now I'm teaching from my shrine like brother Jabari. Scoping the savannah cause I'm on another safari. Tasha K showed us Frank record. Young Pharaoh just losing his mind and y'all can't help him. I know one thing, you're a fool if you're still out here donating to Umar school, that shit through. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Look. You showing your hidden colors like Tariq Nasheed. A bunch of pseudo information I don't think I need. Probably lying on the text, ask Divine or Zion Lex. Just get that microphone ready. With Medunetta, I'm Stone Jetty, a Ujahu, a Saw Imhotep. Y'all probably timid still on them Bobby Hemmett teachings. I'm in Gozy with the DNA. Cats corny and it's killing me too. You talk that black shit, but you look Arab like Gorilla Hebrew. You need therapy, they telling me just chillin', be cool. I'm a magi archer to a sad guy talking. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bro. Thought he was conscious, but the homie just played me, bro. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bro. They crazy, bro. Is there another verse on there? Ain't no more verse on there, damn. I wanted it to be another verse on there. Tell me my mic sound nice. Check 1. My mic sound nice. What's up, good guy in the building? What's up with it? RTP, what's up? Trying to get it in. I've been on my, you know, if I'm freshening up or whatever, if I'm doing the knowledge, I often share what I'm on. And I see half the problem in hip hop, at least, is cats. Don't even know where the money at. I just see a screen. I just seen a screensaver I made a while ago. I don't even think I even used it. So I'm about to use it right now. Let me see. Put this up there real quick to get me juiced. Yeah, there you go. Did I ever use that? I don't think I ever used this. But I didn't make this morning. And I'm not really necessarily going to talk about how to make money off music, right? That's one conversation. What we'll talk about is how money is made off of music. And those are two different conversations. And really, a person who tries to tell you how to make money off music without explaining how money is made off music, you got the cart in front of the horse. Shout out to everybody tapping in for this video. We're going to have a good build so people going to roll through because this information starting to spread. So look. Yeah, we're more focused on how money is made in music and less focused off on how to make money on music. Because once you answer the first question, then all of the other questions start to answer themselves. Even if you're not generating a huge amount of sales, you'll know that you're getting every penny you're supposed to get. So look at it like this. Somebody selling 1 million records and only getting 10% of his sales because he don't know where all the money at and he ain't getting the money right. Or somebody selling 100,000 records and getting 100% of his sales because he collects correctly. The appearance is that the artist who sold 1 million is bigger, but what do you call bigger? Bigger is more popular. Like, I don't think there's no comparison life quality like that. Like, there are standards. One could be living on a whole nother tax bracket than the other. Those two are in the same tax bracket. So financially, the other one ain't necessarily a bigger artist. But if you roll through again, because I don't know that shit. Want to get some time for some people to roll through, but you know how it be when we talk about certain topics. What's up with Ben Nisu, New Kim, and I see y'all, RTP, that good guy. And so, it's also this understanding that those who don't make music have that learn how to make money off music and they don't even make music. They don't know nothing about bars. They don't know nothing about what type of beat machine you're using. But they make the majority off of the music is because they have a formal understanding of the music business. Not too many of us, it's not even promoted in hip hop to have a formal understanding of the music business. No one will promote you that way. People who trying to look out for your interests is going to tell you to get a lawyer. I found out that's kind of like bullshit too, but you got to be on a high level of understanding the music business to know how much bullshit that is. The average artist do not need no lawyer to negotiate the music business. You only need a lawyer when you come across certain contracts that you can't read. That's my experience. You get a 200-page contract with all kind of verbiage in it that you don't know nothing about, you need a lawyer. You got a show contract to where you about to rock a show. You shouldn't be an artist if you can't get through a show contract. I'm just saying, there got to be some level and some standards of self-sufficiency. That's how you say an independent artist. Y'all be thinking an independent artist is somebody who don't got a label. An independent artist ain't necessarily somebody who don't got a label. An independent artist, you can make that synonymous with, for no disrespect, no gender included, an independent woman. When you say an independent woman, you say that's a woman who, quote unquote, whether you agree with that theory or philosophy or not, she don't need the man. Likewise, an independent artist don't necessarily, they say and they negotiate through the music business without needing the man, the support of that entity, right? And so being an independent artist, one of the things that will benefit you is, first of all, you don't got all them people in your ear leading you in directions to where you not going. Artists on major labels will have a harder time finding the knowledge of the music industry than independent artists. Because when I was on a major label, everything I wanted to talk about the music industry, they had people to guide me in a particular direction. Independent artists don't necessarily have that guidance. They look online and try to figure it out and try to figure out what they're supposed to do. And so sometimes that involves research a little bit. Some of them just do it from the hood. How do I press up some CDs? They find out how they press up some CDs. They press them up. They start selling them out of the trunk. How I get them in stores. Man, that's a whole detailed process that we could talk about from the jump. But I more or less want to talk about the majority of this content will be about how money is made just off the intellectual property of the music, without all of the given exploitation. All right, let's start talking about it. Maybe I could turn this into a presentation live like I often do. I guess, look, yeah, I started it, but I ain't going this direction. We're talking about something else. So, I'm just going to be simple with it so we can all understand it. Oops. Everybody, we all know, we all got an understanding of what intellectual property is. What is intellectual property? What is intellectual property? Well, in layman's terms, intellectual property is not just an idea you thought of. Because if that idea is already out there, right, then how that's your intellectual property? Sometimes you would go further than just something you thought of, something you knew and unique that you thought of. Intellectual don't mean that it's smart. It don't mean it's on a level. It simply means that you thought of it and it's yours. So say if I say knock knock, who, and you say who's there, somebody who started the original knock knock who's there as a form of telling a joke, that was really their intellectual property. Now we're not talking about they patented it. We're not on to that. I'm just letting us understand intellectual property so we can start tripping off it. Because in the United States and with copyright law, you can copyright intellectual property, right? Yeah, we know you can copyright intellect. You thought of that, that's unique. People go down to copyright names and I did it big. Someone will copyright I did it big, and that'll be there. Like Crypto Patah. That's your if you saying that's your moniker, you can copyright that, and anybody call themselves Crypto Patah, they infringing upon your intellectual property through your trademark and your moniker and all these other things. Well, it's not just one right granted to you when you create intellectual property. And another thing, that right is granted to you before you ever register it. So there's some people who don't do the music business, and I always, as a standard, recommend registering things. But the right of copyright is granted to you when you put the intellectual property in a tangible form. So why in a tangible form? See, and that lets me know something about they understand the power of manifestation. Because when you want to manifest any idea, you need to put it in a tangible form. That's just, you could call that whatever you want to call it. You don't always have to do that, because now I'm into freestyling a lot, but I don't want to get too far in the conversation. What I'm trying to get us to understand right now is, whatever, no matter what you hear about copyright or whatever, it's always good to go with the standard United States template to register for, because this provides you protections and you won't have to have an extra hard time in court. But that does not mean you will not win without a registration on your copyright. And so we talked about this before. I'm not going to go in too much detail into it, but this is how some had established what was called the poor man's copyright back in the day. All they were doing was establishing that they had the intellectual property prior, at a previous time, and was in use of this intellectual property or whatever at a previous time prior to the other claimant. Right? And so that's all. I mean, I ain't saying that's all they had to do, but that was the brunt of it. But why is it valuable is because of the rights that we get. So when you make a song, now let's go in and start talking about how I'd be working in the music business. All right, and now we're going to have to get some understanding, because it's all kind of breakdown. So I'm going to use real life scenarios. The song is called, I'm just going to say song, right? It's called Bars. Now, I want to see who can break this down right. I'm just making up somebody, so don't trip. DJ Hen. All right, now, this is going to be more complicated. I'm going to go by casual. Oops, excuse me. I'm just going to let us get the understanding of what we see when we see songs. Oh, damn, what's all this, dude? by Casual. Featuring who? MC Icy. Now, and I'm going to talk, we'll talk about this. And this is on Casual's album. I also got to put that. It say by Casual so we can pick it. So, can somebody break down what we need to know about the song and what we learned about the song just for seeing how it's presented like this? Because first, we can understand that this is intellectual property. Yeah, all right, yeah, we about to get into thank you, Shazmoo. Shazmoo says, who wrote the song? So we need more credits. This is normally how a song is just presented, but when you go look at the credits, you get more information. Some of that more information you'll get is and then what else? We already got the producer. And I'm gonna say, so now we get more information. And really, this is really just for the record, is letting us know where the money going and how things are going, but that's not on Jump Street. Give me 1 second. All right, so let me ask some questions. The first, there go the last thing I need to put out. I'm gonna put on here before I ask this question. Excuse me. All right, here we go. Now we just gonna traditionally answer some questions. And I want to see what y'all say in the chat. The first question is, who owns this song? Or what's the options for owners of the song that we see on the screen? Who owns the songs, or what are the options for owners of the song? Who owns this song? Who owns the intellectual property? Shazmoo says, yep, label ownership, but he says the writers unless. Who owns the master recording, is what it's called traditionally, of this song? Shazmoo says the writer or the label. Umpu says the publisher. So with the limited information we have, the publisher, see, all right, Ben says everyone you named. If we just going off the information we got, the candidates, the traditional candidates for owners of this song, because DJ Hen could own good label music. Y'all could make up all kind of scenarios. I'm just acting like all of these are different entities. And and just to be transparent, my publishing company is called 80 Second Sounds. Traditionally, when you see a breakdown this, the label Good Music owns the master recordings. It's not always true, and I'm going to explain how. But this is all you need to know for the instant. This is why artists, Casual, complain that they want to own their masters, the master recording their intellectual property. Because just because it's by Casual don't mean that you own the master recording. right? And so in the traditional sense, and when you see a breakdown like this, good music owns the intellectual property, the master recording, and they have particular rights just because they own the master recording, right? They don't got all the rights, they got particular rights for owning the master recording. Yeah, my stomach just started giving me some issues. All right, now, so if they own the masters, who is the publisher? Well, it shows who the publisher is, so I'll ask a question pertaining to them owning the master. If the label Good Music owns the master, what money do they collect? That's a good question, but I don't know if I posed it the right way. Let me see if I can pose it. If the label Good Music owns the masters, in what ways can they exploit the intellectual property? That's the better phrase. No, they can't exploit it in all ways. They don't own all rights. Put it this way, they can't perform it. Feel me? That's one of the rights of the intellectual property. A label can't perform the music. Imagine being a label and they being like, oh, this is my song. We could go up there and perform this Beyonce song. There are other things they can't do. But yes, Sesmo is right. Traditionally sales, but let's just say they control the masters, so any permission about use of the master, not exploitation of the sound recording on the master, that's going to be publishing. And I hope we don't get that confused. And not necessarily all the mechanicals content DJ, but that's sort of correct. Let's talk about that. So what we need to understand about what the Content DJ Network put out is the label pays out mechanicals, right? So seeing that they got to pay that out, that's really not how they're going to make the bulk. They're going to make the bulk of theirs off the deal they negotiated with you for the money coming in. But the government already got in place a mechanical rate that the label has to pay out to the artist. Licensing, that's very good. That's one of the ones that nobody be tripping off. If you own the masters, Good Music, you own the master to you are the one who gives permission to how the master can be exploited. So now let's talk about this. You're not the only permission, but you could block anything trying to get you. So say these artists, I'm gonna give you a real life scenario. Company wants to use this song Bars in a commercial because they make bars for clubs, right? And they want to license the song for $50,000. Now let's just say there's something I know as traditional splits, but they might not be traditional. I just learned them in the music industry, and this is a format I know, but you could say that's not traditional. But splits are simply who gets what amount of money, of the money, right? So now, since he mentioned licensing, we're doing a scenario on licensing real quick. This is one of the ways the label can exploit the music. Well, is always involved in exploiting the music because it owns the masters, right? But the label would not mind if you beseeched after licensing placements because it's still got to go through them and they got to sign off on it, and no one's going to turn down passive income. So they're not going to be too touchy on that. But what you must know is that, all right, let's talk about it. So this song just got licensed for 50 grand. What are the splits on that license? And I think I need to probably go back into the old mode. This song right here, Bars by Casual, just got a license for 50 grand. So what's the first thing they're going to tell you? And this is a part that people need to understand. First thing they're going to say in that same sentence is, oops, I messed up. Traditionally, if you at the level of this type of the discussion, they're going to say the license was $50K, $25K per side. This song just got licensed. The song Bars. Right? And it got licensed for $50K, $25K per side. Who knows what that means? I wish there was a better form for people to say they know what that means. What do that mean? Just tell me. It's only 2 words you got to put up there to explain what this means. So you got a license, right? You made a song and I called you and say, hey, bro, I got a license for you, $50K, $25K per side. Normally, they might just say $25K per side. What are those sides? All right, let's talk about what the sides are. He said equal split. Yes, but the sides are what sides? The master side, and you could say the publishers are the songwriter side. We're going to get into that, Immortal, because that's going to come a little bit later. But this is going to be what they mean when they say 25K per side. So what that means, you got to remember, we talking about this song. Now, remember who owns, I'm about to highlight this just for my own, Who owns the masters? The label. So now, if you just got your song used for 25 on the master side and 25 on the publisher side, the label automatically get 25K of this license. The ability for them to use your song in a movie, commercial, or whatever have you. So those are those sides. What are the sides? The master side. What's the master side? The person who owns the rights to the intellectual property. Right? Now, what's the publisher side? Because you just can't pay. See, in law, you just can't pay the person. They just got past that. You just can't pay. And so every 100% is always split down to 200% to make it easier. Then it'd be 2 sides and it equal back to 100%. But it's crazy. But basically, this is what we need to understand, that this 50K gets broken down by 2 sides. And 50% is, or whatever, half of that is always going to go to whoever owns the masters. Now think about this. This is a license, a sync license. We're talking about the license to use your song in a movie, right? And so they're not gonna generate no mechanicals. They traditionally won't generate too many mechanicals because they got you down to the mechanicals is generated when a physical unit is pressed up of the album. And now it's generated when they download your records. And also it involves some of the streaming and stuff. And so somebody use your music in a movie, you're going to generate little to none of that revenue. The majority of the revenue is simply going to come from, well, I got a song in Die Hard 3. The movie Die Hard 3 came out in the 90s. I still be getting pennies off that, right? I mean, $100, $200, and that's 30 years ago, right? And so you get small trickles, but that ain't where you get the majority is going to be in the upfront license anyway. So now if the other side, publisher side got 25K, let's break that down on the screen and how you think it go. That's why I put all these people on the screen. So now we're going to talk about what's called artist splits. And since I don't know, we're all different businessmen. So you may negotiate your splits different. Your crew may negotiate splits different. And this is just a template that is going to be standard for learning how splits break down. So now these splits will represent not only the publishing splits, and some negotiate two different types of splits: publishing splits and mechanical splits. But it is hard to justify having different publishing splits than you have mechanical splits. Mechanicals, think about the people who did the mechanics for the song. That's the best way I can describe it. You know, like a mechanic work on your car. When somebody go into the studio, there's actual work that gets done, right? Somebody actually gets on the mic, right? Somebody really plug up the beat machine. Really, mechanicals is meant to compensate that part of the process, right? The physical work being done to make the song come to fruition. And the artist can include, that payment goes to those who are written down as those who receive the mechanicals, normally the writers, but certain crews extend those mechanicals. Sometimes you see engineers included in the credits, right? And then, and that's how we have it. And so we only talk about how this 25%, what's up, DQ? We only, that 200 go to the 100, there you go. Now, so if we got a license right here for 50K and it's 25K each side, we already established that Good Music about to get 25 of that because they own the masters. Now, let me show you why it's good to be an artist who own your own label, like me, and Hieroglyphics, everybody on Hiero. Because regardless of what I'm about to split up with the artist, that 25K is mine. Because I do what? I own my masters. So there go the discussion about, a little bit of the discussion about owning your masters, only one facet of it. You can see why the artists want to own his masters just in this, because right now he would get that 25K. And this is passive money, because licensing happens always after you're finished with the mechanical work for the song. Like, I almost got one license where it was for the movie Menace to Society, where I hadn't made the song yet and they still told me the amount of money if I go make the song. Then I went and made the song and they didn't like it, so it didn't go in the movie. But that's not traditionally how you're going to get them type of licenses. So let's break it down. Y'all can break this down. In the instance, I don't own the label Good Music. I'm a co-owner of Hiero. So if I put this out on Good Music, I wouldn't have got this 25K. What would I have gotten? let's talk about it. We're going to start talking about natural splits. If you don't negotiate different and you go into a court of law, a judge will be forced to do natural splits too. And so it's always good to negotiate your splits and talk about that. And normally they just happen naturally. Let's talk about it. Now, we talked about the two sides of this license, but you need to know there's another two sides that's going to happen again inside of these splits. So let's see what happens. Casual owns good label owns the song. Casual is the artist who performed the song. It is produced by DJ Hen, but it features MC Icy. So for the sense of easy math, right? We're gonna say Casual spit 116, MC Icy spit 116. But there's a caveat to everything you see. What's the caveat? Just look on the screen as we try to understand the money splits, and somebody tell me which line is the caveat to what we're trying to break down right now. All right, I'm going to say what it is. It's this line right here, written by Casual. Thank you. Thank you, Weepop. Because featuring MC Icy serves no monetary value. I'm going to show you, it serves very little monetary value, and I'm going to show you where MC Icy going to get paid. But he's not getting paid in this chain for this license. He shouldn't be. Because the first side went to the masters, right? The second side went to the publishers. MC Icy ain't a songwriter, so it's going to come down to how you grant it. So let me talk about the two sides that we need to talk about on the publishing side. Songwriters and publishers. So Dig Gang, they split it. We already split it once, and the label already took half the money. Now the people who do all the work got to take half the money and split it half again. For real. It's not negative, though. It's just how the system works. It's because of all the people that need to get paid from that side of the income. So right now, in these if we're doing traditional splits, I wrote 100% of the lyrics. The performer is not going to come into play yet. He just got on the mic and performed the lyrics. So aren't you masters and an artist in the same situation? In this instance on the screen, since Casual doesn't own good music, they're not in the same situation, right? All of these artists had to sign off on the license for whoever got publishing companies. Now look, only these two had to sign off on the license. 80 Second Sounds and Sharp Music. MC Icy's publishing company isn't even on the screen. Sharp Music, 80 Second Sounds is me. Sharp Music is the producer. So now look, watch how we get to the splits. If that's the case, traditionally, one side gonna go 100. Now check this out. It represents 50% of the income, but 100% of the production side are the one who made the beat. Because you made the beat, you about to get 50% of the overall income we're talking about. If you produce this split traditionally, because this is the logic that qualifies that. Y'all two MCs both wrote a verse over one beat. The one beat is the bed of the song, right? And traditionally only one person contributed to making the beat. Sometimes it's more, but a lot of times somebody just sat and made the beat. So at that point, when it's just a beat and no lyrics, the beat is all you got, right? Now just say one artist and the producer make the song together. The artist put 316, he can rap forever. It don't matter. He's still only gonna get 50%. Because now you got two entities contributing to the intellectual property. One contribute the beat, one contribute the lyrics. So they both getting equal on some traditional splits. Non-traditional is when the producer say, you ain't nobody. Who is you? Why should you even get 50% of this song? Let me put it on me. I'm casual and you just a dude on Instagram. I need 75%. If an artist said that to me and what he said was true, I'd agree fast. Because like if Jay-Z was like, I'll do a song with you, but you get 10%. You think I would say, nah, I got an ego, I need 50. Everything he said is true about his value on the song. That ain't necessary. So I'm calling it non-traditional because you're putting in other factors. Leave out those factors. DJ Hen produced all of the beat. He getting 100% until Casual wrote the song. Now they got equal play in there, 50-50. Now check this out. MC Icy he spit one of the verses Casual wrote. At this point in time, that don't matter. For this license, believe it or not, unless y'all just nice, there's no payment for MC Icy. This is the Milli Vanilli shit. You see what I'm saying? You could be on the mic looking clean, have all that swag, do everything. You didn't write them lyrics, you got another payment that's allotted to you for being a featuring artist on that no matter what. The feature gets paid no, not in this license unless you got some nice artists, because the feature don't have a publisher. He's not a publisher here. You being a publisher represents where your money gonna get paid to, and that's how that's gonna work. And so basically, they don't really ask Casual, the artist, to sign off on a license. This is how people be like, I don't want to use that. No, they ask the publishing company. And then some people go open up publishing companies and rip you off too, because you don't understand this, right? I got a publishing company. You can open up a publishing company today, right? Go negotiate a deal with somebody who don't understand publishing and be like, bro, I'll give you 15. You ain't making no money off that song. I'll give you $1,500 for your publishing. $1,500, oh, all right, cool. They like, shit, that song didn't do nothing for me, but you know how to exploit songs, right? You get, now, if you just paid $1,500 and got all the publishing, then on this license, you would have just got $25K of this because you got all the publishing. I don't want to start explaining too much. I want to keep it slow, and I could just start rambling on, so let me just slow it down. So then we got the song, right? Okay, still. And now the producer, he produced it, so he getting 50% of that $25K. And the writer is getting 25. And honestly, when I said written by Casual, as long as the publisher's here, but he's essentially considered a writer too because he made the beat. But that's not no big deal. We got that breakdown. And so we're only simply talking about sync licensing, which is, again, kind of like passive income that comes after the song is well created. And we're also only talking about the splits from a license that also will apply to the publishing income that's generated from other exploitation usage of the song. So remember, publishing income is from usage. Publishing income is from song usage. Mechanical income don't matter about the usage. When somebody buy it, who care how much they use it, right? They can play it 1 billion times in their car. You're not getting paid off that. Them listening to it in their car off the physical CD. So it's mechanicals you get a set off of the sale of the thing. But I think we got that all. I think that's kind of well understood. Well, that was only sync licensing we was talking about. Here's a problem. Say you do a deal with a label. Sometimes cats they think they getting all their money. So now let's do a different scenario. Because that was just a license. Let's take the license out of it. I'm gonna show you a whole nother scenario with the same song. All right, let's talk about all right, we can talk about anything. Splits are going to apply. So let's talk about streams. And we're going to use a cheap number, which is, they say 1 million streams, and they say it'd be $4,000. So let's stop real quick. What money is generated off of the streams? And then how that money get broken down? Who get that? And where that go? What go to what routes that come through? How that work? Oh, that's a very good question. It's not like, no, a lot of people don't know this stuff. So obviously we know the streaming platforms we go to listen to streams. But since the music was serviced to them by a digital distributor, one check generated by them comes through a lot of the time your digital distributor. But not both checks. And that's another thing people got to know. Spotify don't generate one check. Spotify generate 2 checks. One check's got to go directly to the artist. So if you don't know nothing about that, you should probably look into that. The check that goes to there was a law passed about how they pay, and they had to like split funds, and half go directly to the artist and half goes to your distributor. And you might want to verify that. And even if somebody wanted to quick Google me and see if I was off, go ahead. But we still need to understand that there's multiple streams of income generated. So streaming is one of them. Digital, satellite radio is not streaming. Seems like it's streaming, but it's not. And understand what streaming is. It's streaming like it's streaming. You know it's streaming, but it's really not streaming. The streaming is the ability to play it again and again, over and over. You see, I was just hopped in my car and I had my single just popped up because I had it on YouTube Music, and it just kept playing over and over. If I go to Sirius Satellite Radio, they have a program of music that is played. They might play it over and over, a 2-hour loop, but you have no push control over what song, you see what I mean, over what song gets played. So that's a complete different check. If artists don't know that, that's a problem. And I can prove artists don't know it. I show it every time, and I show you how to do it. And I don't make money off that, but money can be made off of that. That's data That's information, and you need to know that helping people get their money is not a bad thing. I've been seeing artists complain about not getting their money. I could show you some money sitting on the table right now for artists who don't. I check every month because I run my own company. One time I checked, it was 30 bands just sitting there. 30 bands. This was the first time I checked. And this was maybe in the 2000s, early 2000s. And so what happens is you think you got paid because you got your check from your distributor, you got your check from your performance rights organizations, but sometimes there's more money left out on the table. So if we want to talk about where MC Icy will see money in this situation, first let me go. I don't think I detailed the whole thing. So again, 50-50 split between Casual and DJ Hen, basically. 80-second sounds and short music. MC Icy compensation will come in because he's an artist who's featured on a song. And no matter how you split it, they made a new law that you gotta pay the featured artist. And who handles that? What company handles that? And if you've ever been a featured artist, this is something to know. Who handles that? Who collects for featured artists? And where do they collect for featured artists off of? So they do two things. They collect your digital radio income. Let me see. I'm gonna go see if nephew got some because my nephew, I mean, that ain't my real nephew, but nephew big, right? He large. And I need to have more music business conversations with him. I'm gonna go see if he got something leaking right now. Or you could give me any artist. So a lot of them often do. I looked up a Drake song and it was just sitting there. But can anybody answer the last question if I could even recall it? What entity pays MC Icy for particularly just being a feature on the album, and also they make sure that you get your earnings from digital satellite radio. It's one entity. It's a nonprofit. Nobody know? Put it up on the screen. If you don't know, it's a good thing because that means you might got some money sitting there. Trust me. If anything ever got paid on digital satellite radio is a cool way to start getting some income from music. Submit to a cool DJ. If they run your song, you're gonna see that. So the company is called Sound Exchange. Let me put up a screen for that. I think we need to build on Sound Exchange because it's very important. I don't know why nobody answered that question. Let me see. What does Sound Exchange do? Sound Exchange is a nonprofit. They passed some congressional laws about the abuse, the Milli Vanilli abuse, basically. If you don't know Milli Vanilli, in the 90s, there was a group called Milli Vanilli. And they was hella big. But we found out they were just like MC, what's his name? They were just performing artists. They just got on they just did the video and looked all cool in the video, but they didn't sing. They didn't write the song. They didn't even perform the song in the studio. So they were even in a worse position. They just got in front of the camera and was called Milli Vanilli, and they was hella large. But it was a travesty because they was completely broke. Because of things like this. So Sound Exchange basically got some laws passed to where if you just feature on something like that, you still got to get some bread. Right? And so let's see if I said that right. Sound Exchange, non-profit. So we talk about this. We simply talking about MC Huey. All of the artists on the song getting a check from Sound Exchange for the song. But the feature artist, this is where you come to get your money when you feature on the song, right? And you like, what my issues at? The question was, does the feature get paid on one time? Well, the feature, if that's a different question, thanks for asking that. It's another scenario called a work for hire. If you accept the work for hire, you shouldn't look for no money after that. Don't ever really accept the work for hire if you're an artist, a lyricist. I accept work for hires if they super substantial and if it's for like a commercial or something. So you say, why you do that? Because I might just want that one-time jig, but you could do different. You can say, no, I'm not going to do this as a work for hire. They just might go look for somebody else. You feel me? So, but artist to artist, I just did a work for hire for one of my homies as a charitable contribution to let him get his issue. But if you're not familiar with Sound Exchange and you're an artist, open up an account today. Before you open up an account, click what we do. I'm going to do it for you. Sound Exchange combines the technologies, data-rich solutions, and the expertise. Combination of technologies, data-rich solutions, and expertise are relied upon by the global music industry to make it easy for creators to get paid. We see it says, operating at the lowest admin rates in the industry, Sound Exchange offer products and services that enables the business of music or technology. All right, well, they just talking. Let's see what they really, I want you to see what they do. So for creators, labels, producers, for publishers, I just wish I had an overall, here we go. For creators, at the core of Sound Exchange's principle, music creators deserve to be paid for their work. Sound Exchange lives that principle not only in the way its team is dedicated to making sure creators receive their royalty payments in time and an efficient manner, but through its advocacy and Capitol Hill, the White House, the European Union, the U.S. Copyright Royalty Board, the courts, and elsewhere. So yeah, they actually be getting it in. And so, again, I just wish they would talk about how they collect for people who have done features. And so let me see for publishers. Sound Exchange helps publishers manage their business. Sound Exchange provides back-end administrative tools. Well, anyway, you can come here and say, you can go to, I showed this before, right? And before you even get in, you can see if they got money waiting for you right now. But why am I must ain't did this in a long time. It used to be like right up front. What's up, Dr. Post a Lot? It used to be right up front, but I'm about to find it, and we're about to see how you do it real quick. Sound Exchange. So I'm gonna go to the search. What happened? They ain't got the Are You All royalties right up in front no more. They must have took that down because that tool was too powerful. I mean, they used to have it right on the front where you can just go. It's probably still there, and I'm just missing it. I'm gonna re-click and come down here. Yeah, here you go. Are You All royalties? Just that simple. I'm gonna tell you right now, you can run a complete business off just knowing this, dude. If you're business minded, if you're a thinker, like I am definitely a thinker, you know for a fact, I heard Bootsy say it, and if you're not getting no paper, the best way to get some paper is to help somebody who getting some paper get some more paper. All right? Staple that in your head. You ain't getting no paper. You want to get some paper. The easiest way to get some paper is to help somebody getting some paper already. Get some more paper. You ain't gotta focus on you all the time, right? And so you might not be the artist with hella money sitting here. But if somebody would have came to me, remember I told you I found 30 bands sitting in here. If somebody would came to me and said, hey, I just found 30 bands of unclaimed bread of yours, bruh. I'm not gonna just be thinking they telling me because they don't deserve none of it. And if they ask for something modest, yeah, shoot me 10%. We good. 10% of the 30 bands, you want 3 G's? Where it's at? So this is real. This is not a game. And it's so valuable. Sometimes I'll be erasing videos like this. I'm going to leave it up, though. It's not like I'm the only one who knows. Get paid so you click find out more. Are you all? You can simply come here. Now look, unregistered artists, they're the ones who's probably going to have the most money sitting in here. If you put an artist name here and they're not registered, most likely they got, they're an artist, they probably got some cool bread sitting in there. But, you know, some of the people just be forgetting. Like, I got songs, let me see. I'm going to put casual. I'm registered, though. But let's just see what happens. See, nothing's so somebody named the original Casuals is unregistered and they got some money in there. Somebody called again, we're searching, are you owed royalties? The original Casuals and them, but not me. I'm on my thing. But now we're gonna look at partially unregistered artists. You gotta look at them all. And to explain why you gotta look at them all is because sometimes people put up songs and put the title to the song different, and you will never know that it didn't just say casual when they put it. Somebody might put a song by my moniker. So now this is unregistered song recording owners. Nothing for me. Let's go back. All you gotta do is name a rapper who, like, look, I'm gonna put Boss. You think Boss Man D-Lo. How I spell it? Is it D-L-O? Boss Man D-Lo. No results. Let's see. I don't know if I spelled it right either, but anyway. I'm just gonna do Boss Man. Why am I assuming he got some money here? No, I'm not picking on nobody. What I do is, if I think of a new artist or whatever, let me see if I'm spelling his name right. I'll just pop it in there and see what they got sitting on the table. Damn, what's up with my... Ain't nothing working. I need new batteries in my monitor. Hold up. Yeah, he spelled it Boss Man D-Lo. All right, let me go see. No results found, so he getting that issue. Dude, well, anyway, you can't, this is what you do. Right? For yourself. I'm just putting artist names in here. See if they got any unregistered sound recordings. I found, look, there you go. All of this is my nephew, dude. I'm about to call him and tell him. Look at all these songs that they got money sitting here for him. So now let me show you how to do this. So I'm gonna take these songs, right, and I'm gonna get a screenshot. And you could just do it like me, but this my fam bam, so I just screenshotted this. I'm gonna go to Instagram, right? And I'm gonna do it like, cause I'm from Oakland and he know I'm from Oakland. So I'm gonna do it like I'm from Oakland. Let me see. I'm just being myself and I'm not barring myself. I'm gonna say, so let me get to my man, the inbox. And I'm about to tell my brother where he at. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm just looking, I mean, I just seen you ain't collecting money on these songs. He gonna try to say, yes, I am. Okay, whatever.
All right, cool. What am I gonna? What am I gonna? I don't know. He definitely not gonna say that. Let me see. Uncle man. All right, look. I'm just taking this screenshot. Where the screenshot go? And I need to get this to my family. Let me see. Save that. No, I need to see what that's at. That's in the folder. Open screenshot. I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm gonna say. You can see me typing. I ain't tripping. We do business live. This is not confidential. They had the list up there. I know how to go find the money, man. I'm gonna say I just found out you ain't on these titles. Money slipping. Money on the floor. Money on the floor. Shaking my head. That's my nephew. That's my loved one. I ain't gonna shake my head though. I gotta say what's up at least. All right. Just did my job. Now that's just how quick you can do your job. Right? He gonna respond later. I ain't gonna put all that up on the screen, but now you can just go bigger artists. Let's put 2 Chainz. There you go. Pusha T and 2 Chainz. See, I'm not playing. You can make a whole business off this. And this is just one place. There's more places to do this at. This is money that all right, I'm about to take all these screenshots, but I ain't gonna. I mean, I don't know if artists gonna appreciate that. I'm not about to youth Instagram this, but that's money that you could get from 2 Chainz right there. You better be able to. If these cats will be like try to go get it without you, they're not gonna know where it's at unless they're watching my YouTube. So I just that's so valuable right there. I keep putting my name in there, hieroglyphics. Because if something pop up, I'm going to get that. I'll be hella happy if it popped up. It's not like you're supposed to be mad if you pop up. You're supposed to be happy if you pop up. There's some bread sitting there. They give you that on the next payment cycle. Feel me? Tell me another artist. It's gonna pop. He said D-Lo. Just put D-Lo. Ain't nothing popping up for that. I mean, if I do Bay Area artists, man, everybody will be on there. Well, I spent a lot of time just on that one segment, and we kind of went away from the subject, but it's just showing you this is where the featured artist would have went and got that money and even more. So I'm gonna see if nephew hit me back. Mm-hmm. He ain't hit me back yet, but he was. All right, let me see. Hey, oh no, that was my dad. I had to take that call. I actually had a bad accident yesterday. Horrible. Motherfucker rammed into the back of me in an SRT, dog. Must have been looking at his phone because he didn't even screech on the brakes. Like, it was crazy, bro. I mean, totaled my truck. Like, right now, I ain't really tripping. But if I'm feeling all them aches and them pains, it's over. But anyway, I don't want to get stuck just on this one site. It's just a whole world of that. We was more or less talking about how the money's made. Yeah, and it's not really nobody's fault that we don't know these things. I didn't know them from hella long. When I learned about it, it was money there waiting for me, and I was happy. They're a non-profit, so they can't do none of that shady stuff that the other companies do. They will hold your money for hella long. There's other places where you go to collect on other royalties. Now, where would those same artists go if they're independent? Where do they go to get their mechanicals? If you independent, where do you get your mechanicals? Matter of fact, I got some releases I probably could go check up on. If you're independent, or particularly, there's something called a publishing administrator who will go beyond just your publishing sometimes, and they will collect your mechanicals for you. If you have a publishing administrator, right, then they're probably collecting your mechanicals, but where are they collecting them from? How you gonna be a rapper, bud? Motherfuckers be talking about cooking the pot. Niggas know all this shit about drugs and shit they don't do no more. Don't know shit about the music industry. That's how you could get ripped off. Motherfucker tell you a recipe for crack. That's something I never wanted to ever know. But they can't tell you how their money gets made when they make a song. They think the money get made, you stand on the corner, you sell a CD, you get $10. Or if you hot, you get some streams, and then one day you're gonna get some bread because you viral. That's the explanation to how money get made in the industry. You get streams, you get viral, you get your paper. Viral, all that shit is fake as fuck. Excuse my language. That is fun to do for the exposure. That's not like, all right, we could talk about, I said the old and the new. If you hit on a level of really viral, of course, anything that a chicken sandwich go viral, it'd be large after that. A chicken sandwich. So if you could do what a chicken sandwich do, that don't got nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, that's a whole nother thing. This is why cats don't know how to get some money out of music, because you're going to just only invest in that and think you about to get some money. Cats be having 1 million followers and 200 people at their show. I was just talking about interviewing one of my mans, but I ain't going to do it today. I'll do it so I can announce it and have more people watching. But he was just vouching for something I was teaching the other day about if you got your setup right, you can make more money at a hip hop show off merchandise than you can by getting your guarantee. And he was like, "Oh man, the other night the guarantee was 30,000, but we made 35,000 in merch." It's exactly what he said. I said, hey, I want to interview you on my show. He was like, all right. That's good. These are not no artists that you consider, that you see every day viral. Show sold out, packed, 1,000 people there. It's big intensity in the party, and I mean it's big. 1,000 people there, spending power. That's just part of the game. But there's a lot more to be said along the lines of what I was talking about too. But I'm not going. You can't just do the whole music business in 2 hours. Those minimal breakdowns of understanding that it's two sides to most of the income generated by music. And then if you go further, there's two more sides. When you start splitting it up amongst the artists and the people who actually made that music. That's how a little bit of how the money is generated. Let's talk about how to generate the money. Because you can know all of that and never get to use it. That's why when I sometimes, like, they had me speaking at San Francisco State on a panel with hella motherfuckers. I heard of one or two of them. Some other dude, some Indian dude, was acting like he knew every motherfucking thing about hip hop and shit. And I just had to just tell them fools, man, what he's saying is cool. But I ain't do shit. None of that shit he talking about. He ain't gotta do all that. No. We did what was called grassroots, built it from the ground up, and it popped. And you can still build things from the ground up. Dedication is key. Man, it ain't nothing nobody, even if you weak. If you do something for hella long, people know you for doing that, dog. And if you keep trying, you're going to get better. People like to see people get better, right? So, man, people calling me the best. I'm just now. Go look through my whole career. Now go look at my Instagram. I'm just finally now. I'm 50 years old. I'm just finally now getting recognition where people is like, you might really be one of the top 5 lyricists, y'all. Like, they done said all these motherfuckers' names, and I just be sitting back like, seriously? This shit don't sound that good to me. Am I biased? I think my shit hotter. And am I crazy? Now motherfuckers is saying that shit. Top people is saying it. And I had to wait to 50. How you know I was gonna make it to 50? You know what I'm saying? And so I started my career at 17, killing motherfuckers. My first lyric was a battle lyric. I write raps, when they bite, I clap. Because they should sound better now. You gotta wait that long, but you better, what else you gonna do? You gonna switch up and never see it? I get paid much better than I ever got my whole career today. Right? So you just gotta say some things, it ain't no option at stopping. You just gonna take a break, do something else, but stopping, what? Unless you need to. You know what I'm saying? Some people need to. But that's a different story. And that's talking about having a career, not just having a little juke. A juke is a one-hit wonder. You can just bust a juke. Go say some little corny shit that everybody like to hear. You can get paid instantly, boo. Over a little catchy beat. You still ain't gonna know how much you're getting ripped off. I just showed you as artists, I mean, you're not getting ripped off because Sound Exchange is protecting you. They're holding that bread that you didn't even know that you earned. Right? And so that ain't no rip off. It's cool. A modest goal for artists is to sell 4,000 vinyl. You popping if you can do that. At the end, you should have about 100,000 or more, $100,000. You can set that across a year's time. I'm giving you good ass little modest goals for being a rapper who actually support your family and shit and don't even gotta do no stupid shit. Like 4,000 vinyl. Why you only trying to sell 4,000 vinyl? You don't need to compromise shit. Be yourself. You don't gotta make none of them dumb songs. That's not what's gonna sell 4,000 vinyl. Good artwork would sell 4,000 vinyl as much as the songs. People like vinyl. That's a lofty goal if you want to call it one. When it's say, dude, we used to be like debuting with 50,000 vinyl sold, and that was a failure for me. I think I had 50,000 vinyl sold on my first release, and they was like, oh, this is a flop. That's that bullshit. There's no way on no earth $50,000. I don't care if you Cardi B. They just ripping you off. I could prove it. Let me prove it. I'm gonna break out the calculator to show you how they be ripping us off. They convinced me that my 50,000 units sold was a flop, and I wasn't deserving of no money. Right? And I didn't get no money after that. And it's sold to this day. I don't got no back. Like my first record, no, I only get my publishing and stuff like that. So let's go. 50,000 units. We just gonna see what it generated. Back then, albums was still like, this is ridiculous what I'm about to do. Albums was like $9.99. So just on GP, we're not talking about the life of my project. I got signed for 200, bruh. I got signed for 206,000, then had a 50% publishing deal that shot that up to 256,000. Right? I never regretted that publishing deal. So I started to learn in hip hop that people will say some shit on TV and in records, but each situation is different. I never regretted signing my publishing deal to Jive Zombie. But what my record shipped, if it shipped 50,000 or whatever, which was a flop or whatever, it actually generated $500,000 damn near. So in reality, in actuality, they recouped their money and they doubled their money. Because my whole deal, just that side of the deal was $206,000. So no matter what, this is the thing, you got to keep it simple before you complicate it. Because you complicate it on purpose in order to rip the person off. But while it's still simple like this, they didn't spend more than $206,000 to do nothing for the record. They shipped 50,000 units. I don't know if it shipped that, but that was the number I keep remembering, 50,000 units. And now we're gonna talk about it. Retail, right? This. But they gotta cut out who? The retailer gets some money. The distributor gets some money. Right? So you can start doing that. The distributor traditionally be getting like 30%. But I don't know if these was the old deals. Right? So if you took now I'm gonna take this number again. and subtract this amount. So the distributor already got paid. They sitting on 350, right? Now who else got to get paid? After the distributor cut the check to the label got that check. Now let me think about, the retailer. The retailer has some markup in there too. So in order to do this math different, let me just start over and I'm gonna show you the way to do it. Because what actually was coming back to the label from that 50,000 units was $4, about $4.50. After doing all of that math. Now look, even when I did all of the reductions for the distributor and the retailer, it's still more than what my deal was. My deal was $206,000 for this part, right? So they still made money back. Guess how much money? I can show y'all live. I don't even give a damn. Guess how much money they say I owe on this record? I said it once before on this show. Y'all see that simple math? Would you guess how much money they say? And I'm going to sue their ass eventually. But guess how much money they say I owe on this record? You can't even guess. Again, my deal was $206,000. We just did the math and we reduced the portions for the distributor and the retailer. And they're left with $225,000. Guess how much they say I owe to this day, 2025, even though I did the deal in 1993. Yes. They say I owe $212,000 on this album. I'll be laughing. I'll be like, they hella dumb. Like sometimes you get so stupid, it's like when they be giving people triple life and shit. So your contract that's so good that you worked out, put me in a position to where you made $225,000 off an album that you spent $206,000 on, and the person whose album it was still owe you $212,000. 20, 30 years later, that you're never gonna get. And you don't even come after. You just keep those numbers on the books for government purposes and shit. See? But they definitely don't try to come after that income. Is that crazy? It's ridiculous. And I don't think it's right. You know what I think happened? So many, I signed the Jive Records. They gone. Who got those rights? People didn't even know how to follow. If you got signed in the 90s and didn't know how to follow the trail because they were selling your rights to hella people. After Jive Records, it was J Records. I didn't have nothing to do with J Records. But they had held the rights to some of my music for a minute. Then it went to Sony. Then Sony got bought by Universal. It was Sony Universal. Now it's just Universal. No, that's not true. Because I get some checks from Sony. And it's Sony that's telling me right now that I owe $200,000. But that can't be found nowhere on my books. It's not on like my credit or nothing. It's just a deal you had with some jerks who was trying to rip you off. And they just used that for their internal books purposes. But that shit is crazy. I don't know how we got there though. The independent artists, well, he's still going to wind up getting the same thing back without those other cuts. He sold 50,000 units times $4.50. He get $225, but where do that money go? Straight to his pocket. You got to split it up with the mechanics of the album, those who made the album. But that goes straight to his pocket. The check goes straight to you. You don't have to wait 2 months to get your money. It just comes straight to you. Well, if you got a distributor, you still got to wait that time. But getting your money from a distributor is one step in the process closer to the retail, the seller, the customer, the consumer. Like, you don't want all these steps in between you and the consumer, because everybody take a little piece of the check before they give it to you. Don't you know I'm about to have a huge litigation over this accident that happened yesterday? And I wish I could get to the money without even the lawyer in the middle. Because the lawyer gonna take a huge chunk. It's the same way. You got all these people in the middle, and then you got a lawyer too. You wind up with like 50 G's after this. But you know, it's the business, man. It is the biz. And I see it being lucrative. Because all I gotta do is not have a job. Support my family. I don't need to be like, the options are there. Oh, I'm sorry. I see some questions. When I'm gonna take the crew? I'm not taking the crew anywhere, but if we get invited, we'll probably go together and get a driver. Or, whenever we're invited, we be on drink traps quick. Feel me? So where we at in this business and this money? And we was just talking about the intellectual property. The sync licensing is big. I love the sync licensing. It'll just keep you popping. I need to do some work next year to get further into that industry. I haven't even applied none of my savvy. I mean, like, I don't go to none of their events. I don't be trying to meet more people in the sync licensing industry to let them even know my music is available for licensing. How do they find that out? That's a whole big... Say Tyler Perry got a movie. What is the order of operations? Understanding the order of operations will help you just, man, you don't even know how to take the proper shortcuts. Because you don't know the order of operations. Not you, me, I'm just us. We don't know the order of operations. How can we take the proper shortcuts? Most music productions got one person, bro. Should be crazy. And then you learn this, you could be like, ask yourself a simple question. Who is that person? Second question is, how does he make his decisions? But see, I'm different. I like to know what make them laugh, what their hobbies is, because we on social media now. So you could probably carve a better relationship with somebody that it could be lucrative for you to know by talking about their hobbies and not about what you want out of it. People always talk about what they want out of it so much. What you want out of it should be a little part of the conversation. I'm just saying, a lot of the times, if I'm kicking something to you, most of the shit I'm gonna be talking about is gonna be about how it's gonna benefit you. And for transparency, I'm always gonna say, yeah, and I'm gonna get my issue when we do this, how it's gonna work. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of people all right, hold on. I think that was a pocket call. A lot of people pitch things to you and they on the phone talking about how it's gonna help them. Hey, what's up? I need you to help me do my AI stuff so my videos can be cool. Your shit be cool. You ain't never said nothing about me yet. tripping. Anyway, that happens a little too much. Where we at with it, man? An hour 40 minutes is some good contribution to the knowledge pool of where we can just go places and learn things about the music business. Like you could go get those breakdowns I was giving you in a more scholastic form right on YouTube if you know what to learn about mechanical license. Learn about we talked about intellectual property and all of the rights granted to you as soon as you put the music in a tangible form. Right? So think about it. If copyright registrations were the only thing that protected you, then somebody could rip you off from the moment you thought about it, in between the moment you thought about it and the time you finished pressing enter on the registration. They could have been like, there's this little bit of time where you can still rip a person off. No, that's still your intellectual property. All you gotta prove is prior use. It's nothing. Origin, data origin, all that shit. All right, where we at with it? Let me see. Okay, cool. Just handling business. So then, my company has been selling merch. We've been some of the leaders in merch. Shout out to Domino and the people who set up some of the templates that I run the company now, but we just rotate. Over the years, there's been different people running the company, and they have set up templates for us, right? To know how to do stuff. But my expansion on these templates, I just be trying to answer the same question every year. How to make more money than last year. That's a simple question because no matter how you grade any type of company type of leadership, the proof be in the pudding. And I always think fiscally, I'm like, okay, and I even start to think more about the bottom line and less about the fine details of things. We'll nitpick about the fine details of things when the bottom line between the argument ain't even that much of a difference. $200 difference. But we willing to argue, right, over the the nuances in our philosophy of how we should do things. I also think there's something called the $100 column problem. But whatever, we don't need to talk about that now. It's when somebody want to meet with you and want to have this grand ass meeting and shit, and then they tell you their idea, and the idea don't get out the hundreds column. Hey, blood, I want to throw this little party at this 75 people venue. Why is you wasting my time? Talk to you later. I'm sorry, but I'm saying though. Hey, blood, I got this juke. What is going to amount to? And why is there so many risks in what you talking about, bro? I don't do no risk. I'll very seldomly put well, that's not true. But I have to get the faith and confidence of my partners before I'm allowed to take a risk, right? You see what I'm saying? But traditionally, business don't really, is it business when you're taking those huge risks? Like what is Kentucky Fried Chicken risk? What's McDonald's risk? So when you got risk and shit, I'm like, this ain't really business. Now, don't get it twisted. I just did international commerce and I was trying to mitigate my risk when I had to ship on a sea vessel. How do you mitigate your risk? What if you just sent hella money overseas and the product is coming on a boat? That's a risk. that you have to sit around and figure out how you're going to mitigate it. First thing that pops in any thinking man's mind is insurance. Now that's an additional cost in mitigating a risk that is traditional. We throw parties, somebody could get shot at the party. Insurance to mitigate that risk. But we don't want uninsurable risk, is what I mean. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just lost it. I just lost it, blood. Huh? You just lost it. Anyway. Anyway. Shout out to Dr. Post a lot. He said he just grabbed up some High Road merch. Merch is my focus right now. Got a lot of good people working for me, doing wonderful jobs. I mean, wonderful. I love being in this industry and just surrounding myself by getters. I wonder what my international commerce partners see me as. I always wonder. I got this one lady, I've been doing business with her for over 10 years. And it's the type of lady, she don't stop emailing. They so persistent and they on point. And once she hit me and I was like, man, I'll get at you in about 2 years. That was my email. I was like, I'm gonna be at you about 2 years. And she hit me back like, all right, I'll holler. I ain't hear from her for about a year or two. 2 years, bing, Mr. Owens. I was like, damn, she on point. Mr. Owens, how you doing? It's 2 years later, what's up? That's another thing. When I build with the scholars, bro, I don't be on no goofy shit. I'll be like, I'm going to let you think about that shit. I'm going to hit you next winter. Break their ass off. Then they be like, did he just say I'm going to let you think about that shit? I'm going to hit you next winter? Well, I hit Jonathan Winterman. I gave him 6 months to look over them documents. He replied like, I don't need no damn 6 months. I read over the spot. I read on the spot. Every Egyptologist ain't gonna read with you on the spot. How can you even spot read? We can spot read because we magi archers. You can't spot read. You could probably still be a magi. It ain't about just reading the glyphs. But if you up in them ranks, you spot read. Because you gotta defend shit. And if you don't even got the prowess to read anything from the primary language, you can't form no arguments. How can you form an argument when you're going to take hella secondary sources, then you can form your own argument? But the reason why I can form arguments is because I read the primary language of the ancient Egyptians. You can't tell me they wasn't black. You sound hella stupid. I got that written all over the world. I'll just show. I mean, not nobody on no level of Egyptology has been able to even. I've made some wonderful friends in Egyptology. Y'all, the dudes who was hiring these Egyptologists to come after me were some of the biggest busters because they created some beautiful friendships. They paid for people to scrutinize my work. And when they were scrutinizing my work, they was like, oh shit, this dude fucking them up. And they came back and told them dudes to their face. I still never showed y'all the one clip. I always show y'all the Maggie Bryson clip where she be like, Kim, they called themselves black about the ancient Egyptians. So that's dead. All of these motherfuckers from Wu Jahu, Asar Imhotep, Ankh-Khet, they consistently argued that the ancient Egyptians did not call themselves black. They went to Dr. Maggie Bryson trying to beat up my work. She looked at my work. Dog. The part of the video I didn't show because it was pretentious. I show her some shit like that sometimes, but I don't gloat that much. She was on their head like, man, this dude raw. In our own video, like, man, that dude y'all sent me, she gave up the whole ghost. She was like, quote, man, that dude who y'all sent me his videos. So, she was like, snitched on him Because they was acting like they wasn't sending in my videos and shit. She was like, hey, that dude was raw. He know what the fuck he doing. Told him that. But they sitting there coming back on YouTube trying to berate me. You feel? But I'll just switch subjects. I'll start a new video. We could talk about that shit. You feel me? It's cool. It's cool. But yeah. I think people just want me to just do freestyles and shit. I'm just gonna let's just do a mixtape. No choruses, nothing. Just gas their ass a whole album and turn it off. No topics, nope. Just gas. Just clever metaphors and punchlines. That'll be it. Where y'all at in the chat? Hit me with something, man. You working a bit? Let's do that knowledge. Or I might start. Tell me a topic for the next video. What we about to build on? I'm gonna go grab some water, drink me some water, and come back. What we about to build on, though? Then I'm off my business. Let's do some studying. What's the topic? I should ridicule these clowns again since I got some time on my hand. I'll go right back to beating up Bobby Banger. That's the new punching bag. Should we go look at all the videos of beating up old school Bobby Banger again? No one calls him that, by the way. Like we called him that. No one in the city ever called him Bobby fucking Banger. He made that name up. Why they called that nigga Bobby Banger, nigga? Niggas calling me Smash because I was smashing on niggas. I didn't just make up Smash. Man, come on, man. We different. Cats can't even be found in their fucking city, bruh. I got love all through my shit for being a cool motherfucker forever. Not no swindler. But anyway, Sub-Saharan, Joey debated logic about those who's going to heaven. Are you serious? Man, I ain't talking about no heaven. We all got a different heaven that our body gonna release a chemical probably, and we all gonna be in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if anybody got control over anybody else going to heaven. I don't know nothing about that type of stuff. That's little kid stuff to me. Like, what? I definitely know my mentality in my life, if there was a heaven, I'd be in that motherfucker anyway. Even if I didn't even believe in it, they'd be like, you too good in this motherfucker. Go get bruh. So, but any grown men want to talk about heaven and shit, miss me with that, bruh. Straight up. That's just some stupid shit, and they want some content and just want to talk about some dumb shit on YouTube. This is my personal thoughts, by the way. I mean, how tainted can our people be by these dumbass religious, like religious prescriptions? Right? This what you gotta do. This what you gotta do. You think a guy gonna do all that? Man, we be imagining a white God. A white God would do all that shit. Taxes, everything. White God gonna have you doing everything, just like whiteness. Feel me? But if you talking about a supreme being, why he gotta have these attributes? Why he gotta have jealousy and shit? So yeah, I'm messing this video up because it was about the music business. I might come back and holler about some more shit. Did the common people get to go where? To the judgment scene? Since all of that was fake too, yeah. Because if I was a common person, why would I think that I'm not gonna see my eye? If everybody had a story about seeing the Hall of Ma'at, I would include myself in that story, like we include ourselves in heaven and everything. You know what I'm saying? So heaven work like this. You ain't got to focus on it. You need to be good enough with that shit focusing on you. Like, man, I can't, not I can't wait to get bruh. But man, when he comes, it's gonna be super popping. Y'all focusing on it. What do I have to do to get into heaven? Not that. There's gonna be bouncers at the pearly gates. Keep y'all out of there. Hey, bro, go to the back of the line. You gonna get to the front, they're gonna tell you to hit the back of the line at the pearly gates. What you gonna do? The back of the line gonna be hell long. When they tell you to go to the back of the line at the pearly gates, what you gonna do? That might be the title to the next video. Was the Pharaoh the one of the... See, all that Egypt shit, I don't even like talking about that all day no more. This shit a waste. It ain't a waste of time. It's history, right? But come on, man, I don't want to talk about did the Pharaoh. Come on, man, come with some hot shit. If it's a waste of time, it is a waste of time. I do my black research that's not a waste of time. It's more relevant every day in understanding the blackness of the ancient Egyptians. I don't want to talk about that shit. Nope, all that shit weak, bruh. That's why you ain't got no channel. Type terracotta dolls on this motherfucker. See how many views you have. I'm just playing. See, I don't just like frivolously just doing no subjects. Just because it's about Kemet. We've been sticking to one research question for 4 years. Think about that. Like, we've been doing deep dives into one particular research. I'm not that arbitrary. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to just do anything. But thanks for the suggestion, Sherman. It was cool, but he put too much in Commission. On Commission Adept? Man, I ain't trying to see what he talking about unless he learning to fix what he been teaching. All right, I'm gonna call it Black Egypt, Kemet, and be back in a minute. All right, Black Egypt and all that. We be back. We about to bang out. I dare y'all. Come on. Come back in a minute. Now I'm about to get juiced and go tell Instagram this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, we about to talk about Black Egypt on these hoes. All right.